Welcome to the deep dive. Today we're unpacking something really insightful. These surprising links between our daily lives and, well, our environmental footprint. Specifically, we're diving into how lifestyle choices across Japan's prefectures show some fascinating patterns in individual CO2 emissions.
Yeah, it's quite revealing stuff.
We'll be looking at the results from EarthHack's very first 47 prefecture survey. They used this innovative tool called Decarbo My Score.
Right.
Our mission today, to figure out the key lifestyle factors that really drive these personal carbon footprints.
And this kind of data, it's so important because it takes us beyond just abstract numbers, you know?
Exactly.
Lets us actually visualize the impact in the real world, helps us grasp what's genuinely driving emissions person by person across such different regions.
It makes it tangible.
Yes, that tangible link between daily actions and what we can actually measure.
So this Decarbo My Score tool, it measures individual CO2 across 4 main areas: transport, shopping, housing, and food. And it does this with just 12 simple questions. Pretty efficient.
Very efficient, yes.
Let's get right to it then. Who's managing a low Decarbo score, so lower emissions, and who, well, isn't, based on the survey?
Okay, so the survey showed some really striking differences. The top 3, the lowest emission prefectures, are Decarbo leaders, you could say.
Yeah.
Tochigi at 4.32 tons per person per year. Then Nagano at 4.37 tons, and Ehime close behind at 4.40 tons.
Okay, Tochigi, Nagano, Ehime. Low emissions.
Yeah.
And on the other side, the highest.
A sharp contrast. Tokyo comes in way higher at 7.28 tons.
Wow, 7.28.
Then Fukushima at 6.97 and Kanagawa at 6.94 tons.
That difference between Tokyo and Tochigi, it's nearly double.
It is, and that's what's really fascinating here. That huge range, it strongly suggests, that it's the lifestyle factors that vary so much.
Right, not just population density or something simple like that.
Exactly. It's not just a simple urban versus rural story. It's more nuanced.
Let's dig into those factors then, starting with transport, how we move around. What stood out as a major driver for higher emissions there?
Well, a big one is high flight frequency. That really contributes for places like Tokyo, Fukushima, and Kanagawa.
Ah, okay. Access to airports.
Yes. Easy access to major airports means more flights, often for both business and leisure.
Right.
But conversely, in many of the lower emission areas, even though car ownership might be high, their daily life, their leisure, it tends to be more local, more contained within the region.
So less need for those long flights.
Precisely. They use cars, sure, but often for shorter regional trips, not constant long-distance travel.
That's a really interesting distinction. It kind of challenges that simple idea that dense cities automatically mean lower transport emissions overall because of public transport.
It does. It shows the impact of discretionary long-distance travel.
Okay, beyond moving around, what about consumption? Shopping, food habits? What did the survey show there?
We saw that high agricultural self-sufficiency really makes a difference. Places like Shikoku and Kyushu, for example.
How so?
Well, it seems to lower food-related CO2 emissions. Localized food systems are just more efficient, less transport involved.
Right, less food miles.
Exactly. And another interesting bit was about clothing. Single-person households, which are common in places like Tokyo and Hokkaido, they tended to purchase more new clothing.
Oh, interesting. Why might that be?
Well, it impacts their emissions score. Perhaps fewer hand-me-downs within the household, or maybe a greater interest in fashion trends, leads to more consumption of textiles.
Okay. And what about where we live, our homes, our energy sources? How does that play in?
The sunny prefectures, like Ibaraki, Yamanashi, Miyazaki, they consistently showed higher use of renewable energy, especially solar power.
Makes sense.
Their climate, the local conditions, they just naturally support more eco-friendly energy right there in homes and communities.
So geography can be a direct advantage for decarbonization.
Absolutely. It's a clear case where local attributes help.
So we've looked at transport, consumption, housing. How do these factors kind of weave together? What's the bigger picture for you listening?
Well, if you put it all together, a pattern emerges. Big cities might have great public transport.
Yeah.
But higher incomes often lead to more flying, maybe buying more appliances, more clothes.
For the discretionary spending.
Exactly. Whereas suburban or more rural areas, even if they rely on cars daily, might have a more, let's say, settled lifestyle. Consumption and leisure are often more local.
Less need for constant long trips.
Yes. The main theme seems to be how living a life that feels kind of complete within your own region, using local resources, having that sense of local love that seems key to lower individual CO₂.
So the takeaway isn't necessarily about making huge, drastic sacrifices then.
Not always, no.
It's more about understanding the total impact of our everyday choices and how they're really tied to our local place, our community.
Precisely. And that leads to a final thought, maybe something for you to consider. Think about your own local situation, your daily routines. What parts of your lifestyle, your commute, what you eat, how you shop might be quietly adding to, or maybe reducing, your personal emissions. And what small shifts, perhaps really local ones, could make a difference for you.